What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Quote Us Sports. It is, let me check, Wednesday, April 29th when you listen to this episode. And let's all start with a little bit of celebration. Let's get the confetti cannons out because, Irby, you know what? We made it to episode 50, my boy.
Woo!
Bang, 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 bang.
Fitty, cuz. Fitty.
This is for all the haters out there. Who would have thought?
Not us.
Not us.
No, I when we started this in a text chain, did I ever think we'd make the 50 episodes? No, I wasn't sure we were going to get to episode 1.
Yeah, we did have a lot of tech troubles looking back at it, didn't we?
Oh, we've overcome some obstacles. We had some hurdles in the way, and here we sit. Shout out to all the followers. We appreciate you. What do we got? Like 3 active listeners? Hell yeah.
Go off, King. Kings.
Hey.
Us. Go off
Hey.
us.
But 50.
That's better than 0 listeners.
Right? I'm all about it. Listen, we're just chugging along. We're coming up on 1 year here. Pretty quick.
We are. We should go figure out what that date was, actually.
Just so I don't know. I did go back the other week and went back to some of our first clips that we posted. Boy, have we come a long way in that department.
Hell yeah.
It was gross before.
Only on the up and up. Soon we're gonna be hiring some dudes on Fiverr, some guys out of India, start doing some editing for us.
No, we tried that once, and it was one of the worst things we had ever seen.
That could have been on me. Maybe I didn't give good enough guidance.
That clip was rough.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't hurt to try again. It's $5 usually.
Hey,
$10.
Listen, we're a year older, a year wiser, maybe.
False. I actually probably have gotten dumber over the course of the last year.
Well, I think you can attribute that. You're an AI guy. You're a ChatGPT Claude guy. You use it a lot in everyday life for this pod.
I'm told to leverage AI if it's at my disposal.
I'm not sitting here knocking it. I'm just you in my circle of friends probably use AI more than anybody else I know.
I will say it's fun. It is very helpful.
How many images have you created of yourself in different positions?
Surprisingly, I haven't utilized the picture functionality too frequently.
Don't lie to me. Listen,
there's
an image on your computer of you riding bare-chested on a lion, wielding King Arthur's sword while flames are coming off of it. Don't lie to me.
Honestly, the only time I really went off on pictures that were unrelated to, or like not for this podcast specifically, was when we were hanging out with some friends and their kids are old enough to know what like ChatGPT and shit was. So they started just taking pictures of everybody during that weekend, and then they would go into ChatGPT and prompt it to do some like crazy shit. Like there's one of me fighting her little brother in like an anime, like, you know, like kung fu style.
Oh, like Dragon Ball Z type.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't blame it on the kids. If you're doing that, you can just tell us.
No, because I wouldn't have even thought of the prompts that she was coming up with.
Jesus. And I shouldn't sit here and knock AI too much because we do utilize it for all of our thumbnails, helping us out with the clips a little bit along the way. Oh, that's all right. I don't. Did somebody think that I was like graphic designing all of these thumbnails? If you did, thank you. I'm not that artistic. I am that autistic though. Me and AI, we hang out late night.
We gotta take the credit unless anybody explicitly asks or we have to disclose. We gotta take credit for that ourselves. That's all us.
No, see, okay, so here's a little bit of this conversation, and we've had it offline, I think, before. Do you use please and thank you when you talk to AI? Do you use manners? Do you approach it like a conversation?
No, I stopped doing that because I learned how much of a waste that is from an energy perspective. that I just tell it what to do at this point. I boss it around.
See, I can't do it. There's something in my like so how I create our thumbnails is I have a pinned chat, right? So kind of the theme can stay the same along the way. I've now named it, and we've named I will say me and ChatGPT have named it. It's Gandalf's Heat Zone. It's where we cook up all the heat. And
I
he's a
still
wizard,
remember,
so we call him Gandalf.
like probably a couple months, maybe not even, but you had sent me a screenshot, and it was you arguing with ChatGPT because
we got in a big
wouldn't because it wouldn't like it was misinterpreting everything you were telling it to do, and you were like literally getting frustrated with it, like almost to the point of like verbally assaulting it.
I've literally told ChatGPT in the chat, like, well, you've failed me once again. This thread's now being deleted. Congrats. I mean, listen, dude. You gotta let them know. I shit you not, more than once, I have typed in to ChatGPT, like, what about that prompt made you create that image? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood. Yeah, no shit. But no, there's. I tell you what, though, date night. You ever try to plan a date night and you're just like, God, what do we do? ChatGPT will help you out there a little bit.
Oh, dude, if you think that's impressive, wait until you go on vacation and you want an itinerary of things to do.
You think I'm going on a vacation anytime soon?
Buckle up. I don't know. You're a changed man over the course of the last couple months.
I have looked into a Disney trip.
Okay, whoa. We go from no trips whatsoever to potentially Disney World?
Do you know, like, the average cost of a family of 3 to go to Disney?
Yeah, it's a fuck ton.
It's $7,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, if you want to do it right.
That's not even doing it all the way right. You know where they get you? They get you with the food, those fuckers.
They nickel and dime you for everything. And then, on top of that, if you don't get the fast pass lane...
Imagine trying to do one of the... Oh... No,
you're just wasting a week at that point, standing in lines.
Dude, the Disney character breakfast or like the Prince and Princess meals, do you know what those run ahead for adults?
No, can't say.
$150.
Damn, must be some 5-star food, huh?
It's not.
I figured.
It's not even close.
I figured.
It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. But hey, episode 50. We're here. Don't quote us. Don't even think about it.
And what better way what better topic to start with for episode 50 than what might be your favorite weekend in sports? And that's the NFL draft.
Way up there.
So, for those that don't listen, Herb is a notorious mock drafter. I think he tries to foresee every single move or pick underneath the blue sky. How many did you get correct? Player wise, you didn't have to get the team right, but amount of first round picks that you got correct.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
What was the biggest miss?
The biggest miss of the go with the first round. Yeah. I think, I'd mentioned Ty Simpson early on to the Rams, that it was a possibility, but I didn't think at 13. We called Ruben Bain in our last mock at 15 to the Bucks, and we both said, "There's no way he's going to be there.
We were actually pissed. We were actually pissed that we waited so long to draft him.
Dude, I honestly thought about not putting out the mock because I was like, God, we got Ruben Bain at 15. There's no chance. We're going to get absolutely ridiculed. Guess what? We were fucking right.
Did you have McCoy in the first round? I know we had talked about him a little bit.
No, if you recall, I have been way off Gerard McCoy. I at one point, I don't know if I said it here or outside of the pod, I had him falling out of the second at one point. I didn't have him going all the way down to the fourth. I'll tell you that much.
I know you weren't high on him. I just didn't know if he had snuck in on the final.
No.
version.
Caleb Lomu going in the first. I knew it could happen. I'm not mad about it. I knew it could happen, but I figured if there was no lineman that was going to fall, it would be him. But probably Ty Simpson, right? I feel like we're both there. But again, I thought at 29 he was a real possibility for the Rams. What about you? I mean, hey, by the way, congrats on the Malachi Lawrence.
Yeah, called that. Told you he was a riser. He was a
Mm-hmm.
riser for sure. Um, biggest surprise, um, I would have to say was probably Jermod McCoy falling all the way to the top of the fourth. That was surprising. I thought I know there was rumblings of him dropping in the draft, but I still thought some team was going to pick him in the first, if not like the high second, similar to like Will Johnson last year with his injury concerns. I did not foresee him falling all the way to the fourth round. That was crazy.
I will say
I didn't.
with that I was shocked at 50. Like there must be something so severely wrong with that degenerative knee situation because the Packers at 52, who everybody knew were going corner at 52, they said, "Nah, we're good." Like you're talking about one of the most corner need teams other than the Chiefs, and they said, "We're good. We're going to go with Dylan Sissy."
Mm-hmm. Brandon
So
Sissy.
Brandon, sorry. And so you get to that point, and McCoy makes it past that, and you went, "Oh God, now where is the stop?" Fourth round to the Raiders. Honestly, in the fourth, like good for the Raiders. If this kid works out, you just got him at a steal of a value, and if he's good, he's a day one starter for you.
Oh, I know who my biggest drop was that I was not expecting. Zion Young dropping all the way to 45.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to be a late first round pick because there's plenty of teams at the back end of the first round that I think could have drafted him, like the Patriots, the
Eagles.
Bears, Eagles. Like there's a couple teams that I thought he could have gone to. So I was shocked, and for the Ravens to pick him up at number 45, and now being able to. Would you rather? Let me propose it to you like this: would you rather have Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson and Zion Young plus your first round pick next year still?
Yeah, I mean that's the Ravens are thanking their lucky stars
Actually,
that
no, you could say it's the guard from Penn State,
yep, Vega.
Zion Young, Trey Hendrickson, and your first round pick
Yeah,
next year.
you're thanking your lucky stars. You are
Yeah.
thanking your lucky stars that it didn't go the way you initially planned it, I guess. But then again, it is Max Crosby, and he's an absolute wrecker. What I did hear about Zion Young, I saw his tweet after the first round after he didn't go. I think the word "too raw of a talent," and I'm sitting there going, if Zion Young is too raw of a talent, the hell is Malachi Lawrence doing up there?
You could say the same thing about Ian Knocker from Arizona State, the
Mm-hmm.
tackle. He's been playing football for what was it, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, something like that.
He started as a junior in high school?
Yeah, it didn't start as a freshman. I know that much. Yeah, so I mean, you want to talk about too raw of a talent? I don't see it.
You had Monroe Freeling with 18 career starts or 15 career starts or whatever it was, and he was a 19th.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I
come
saw.
on.
Too raw of a talent from Zion Young. We're talking about a guy who was playing for SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Too
I
raw.
swear. I don't think I would have the thick enough skin to go through the draft process if I was some of these guys.
You'd
Like,
be
I feel
reading
like
Twitter comments too much, huh?
yeah, dude, I feel like they are just purely making shit up at this point
Probably. I mean,
just to make
that's how you
people,
get the clicks, man.
dudes look bad. Um, but let's see themes, high level themes, and then we'll get into some specifics. So if you weren't paying attention, Ohio State owned
Mm-hmm.
the first round of the NFL draft. We expected that, but they had 4 Buckeyes in the top 11 picks. That is the what was the stat? So they had Arvell Reese at 5, Styles at 7, Downs at 11, and Tate at 4. Sorry, got that backwards. But that's the most Buckeyes selected in the top 11 since the 2004 draft class.
Hmm.
But let's start with Carnell Tate, the first. I think nobody expected to be the first Ohio State Buckeye selected, and to go to, of all teams, your Tennessee Titans, who passed up on not only Arvel Reese but Sony Styles, who I think were widely mocked. If Arvel Reese even fell that far, I think the floor we all thought was Tennessee at 4. There was no way he make it past Tennessee. But instead they go with Carnell Tate, who, don't get me wrong, is talented. I will always hang my hat on an Ohio State Buckeye wide receiver at this point until proven otherwise with the talent that they have produced in recent years. But this was a guy that, until not even last year, never truly was the number one option on his college offense.
Oh, you're taking the Malik Neighbors route, huh?
What do you mean?
Malik Neighbors came out and said that Carnell Tate was never the number one on his team. So, like, who is he?
Oh, I didn't even know Malik Neighbors said that.
Oh, yeah, came out, opened his mouth.
But does that not give you pause when thinking about this pick? Actually, just scratch it. What are your thoughts on the pick? The draft moved so quickly on Thursday. We really didn't get to talk much in detail about it.
And first and foremost, love the format. Loved how it was sped up. Great job by Pittsburgh. The whole draft was incredible.
Unless you actually attended, I heard that was a shit show.
805,000 people through the weekend. Holy shit!
That is a city of, what is it, like 300,000 people?
Pittsburgh? It's got to be more than that.
No, like Pittsburgh proper, I think, is only like 300,000. I thought.
Wait for the fact check here, folks.
Yeah, 2020. I know, what's 2020? Yeah, 310.
Okay. Wow.
But that's just like Pittsburgh proper.
Sure.
They had so many people come through that weekend, like more than they were expecting. But they had to use overflow and send people into the actual stadium, the Steelers stadium, to watch on the Jumbotron the draft of dudes getting drafted.
Oh, it would have been a miserable event to attend in person as like a real draft fan, because I wouldn't want to be standing back there watching on a Jumbotron, or even worse, standing in the crowd at the draft watching it on my phone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay the money for it. As for the pick, things got jumbled up with Jeremiah Love at 3. I think the Titans anticipated it, but didn't think that it would be a huge possibility. Now, as for that pick, rumor is that was an ownership pick, and the GM and head coach were not for taking Jeremiah Love, but they understand what kind of player they got. We're talking about ticket sales, jersey sales. Jeremiah Love's an exciting player, more so than Arvel Reese. So if that's the mentality Arizona's operating with, good luck. So when we were sitting at 4, I thought about what our defense was. I thought about our needs on offense. You can't go running back, obviously. Like you couldn't. It's not like you could go Jadarian Price. That would have been foolish. And then they pan to the Titans' war room. And Salah's standing there, just kind of standing in the middle. And in the background is Brian Dable. This is before the pick is in. Brian Dable's slapping hands, hugging, shit-eating grin on his face. And I went, oh, my God, we just went offense. Here comes Carnell Tate, right? In terms of the player, I like the player. Is he a superstar wide receiver like we've seen in the past? No. But what if he is Justin Jefferson? What if he's that type? What if he is? The sample size is small so far, but there was a point in time when Justin Jefferson wasn't the best receiver on his team, right? That he had Jamar. And I get it, it's Jamar and Jay Jettas, but Carnell Tate can catch footballs. He runs great routes. He's a big-body kid. He's what we needed at receiver that I thought we were going to take in 2 or 3. So for them there was a little bit of panic. Like I think there was as a fan. When you hear Carnell Tate called, you go, okay, did they freak out? But the war room suggests that like they were okay with where this went. And then you think about where would Arvel Reese have fit? I would have loved Sonny Styles there. But I tell you what, so we get Carnell Tate, wide receiver 1 in this draft, arguably. Then we go get Keldrick Falk, trade back in for him. And then we get Anthony Hill, who was far more productive in his career than Arvell Reese. I'm not mad that we passed on Arvell Reese and got Anthony Hill at a cheaper value. Sure, he's a little bit older, but not a year or two older. I'm not mad about this whatsoever. At all.
I also think there's a lot of value with Keldrick Falk, too. I
Huge.
think there's a lot of concern about the lack of numbers that he put up at Auburn this last year.
Sure.
But Auburn was dysfunctional. We've seen in previous years his ability to rush the passer, and the dude's just an athletic freak. What is he, like 6'6", 280 or something like that? Like
massive human.
The dude's a beast. So I think he could have a very bright future ahead of him for sure.
And here's kind of a wild comp that I thought of. Because, you look at our D line, it's Simmons, it's Franklin Martin. I think it's Franklin Martin, right?
And then Jeremiah Myers.
It is Myers. And then you've got Jermaine Johnson on the other side, who's due a big contract after this year. I assume by trading for him, we intend to sign him. But let's say something goes haywire and he decides, 1 year in Tennessee, I'm not doing this. Well, now we've got a serviceable young piece that hopefully has a year behind Jermaine and can learn a lot. But let's say we sign Jermaine and we got to find a little room for Keldrick Falk. We kind of talked about DeForest Buckner like this. DeForest had a little more production, don't get me wrong, but he could be a DeForest Buckner type. Big, tall guy, can play on the inside with some power, but knows how to get after the quarterback. Shit, I'm not too mad about trading back into the first to go get him.
Yeah, and I think we've said it plenty of times on the podcast. We are advocates of there's never such thing as having too much talent in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to come by, and it is the positions that are felt the most when injuries do occur. It is hard to replace solid rotational pieces on the line.
Ask the Chargers about that, huh?
Exactly. But you kind of touched on the other big news from the draft, and that was the Rams taking Ty Simpson at number 13, which is a move that nobody predicted. There were thoughts that the Rams may use their second first-round pick to potentially pick Ty Simpson. That gets traded to the Chiefs in the McDuffie trade. So 13, it felt rich for a team that is expected to challenge or be competitive for this upcoming season. This move obviously doesn't make them better for this season, at least. And I know Stafford's kind of been year to year regarding retirement. I don't know how many more years he has. I think he easily could play at least the next 2 seasons. Retire at 40. He's 38, I believe, this year. Retire at 40, and then Ty Simpson takes over. I will say the history behind a move like this has been pretty successful in recent years, depending on we're still waiting on the Michael Penix situation. We don't really know about that. But then you have Jordan Love as a recent example, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, as like the 3 most recent examples. And I think we can all agree that those were wild successes.
Sure. Here's my issue. Okay. And it's what everyone's talking about. I don't know that there's another team in the NFL who is more win now mentality than the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is Stafford's last go. So when they go, I understand solidifying your future and if you believe in the kid, but now you only have one first round pick. You traded the other one away for great value, don't get me wrong. But when I'm sitting here, if I'm the Rams GM and I can solidify our future or go get a wide receiver that's going to help us win or go get an O-lineman that's going to protect Matt, staring at the 2027 quarterback class, that's why this pick doesn't make so much sense for me. Because Ty Simpson probably isn't quarterback 5 in next year's draft class. Mendoza might not be QB 4 or 5 in next year's draft class. That's the reality of what we're all hoping for in 27. So that's why this pick doesn't make any sense. And then you hear about the little bit of what I might call collusion. Have you heard about this? The connection for Ty Simpson to the LA Rams before the draft?
No, I don't think I have.
So Ty Simpson is connected to the LA Rams, and the GM Les Snead through his father Jason Simpson, who is the head coach at UT Martin. And apparently, Jason and Ty Simpson consulted with Les Snead before Ty decided to declare for the draft. And now we're hearing little rumors of, well, Simpson and McVay had a secret meeting before the draft. I think that's bullshit. Did you see McVay after the draft?
Continue.
You didn't see him? Oh, my God. So they released the draft day, the phone call to your number one pick. Ty Simpson goes, I can't wait. Let's go make history, coach. And McVay goes, yeah, no, we're excited to have you. Like, I get Ty Simpson, let's go make history. Brother, we got Matt Stafford, who's the reigning MVP. We expect to go win a Super Bowl. Don't come in here talking about let's go make history.
What the fuck you want him to say?
Ty, recognize where you're at. Hey, coach, I can't wait to come in and learn. Can't wait to work my ass off for you.
Dude, let's chill out. The guy is going through one of the most emotional nights of his life. God forbid it slides out of his lips.
Let's go make
history. I'm sure he's not talking about this season. I don't think Ty Simpson is that fucking stupid.
I fucking hope not, because Ty Simpson may go down as one of the biggest busts of this draft.
Feel like you are reading into that very literally.
When I heard it initially, I was just like, "Jeez!" But the post draft first round press conference, they asked McVay about it, and he was just like, basically repeated, "This is Matt Stafford's team," which like nobody's questioning that. But he was just like, "Yeah, we're focused on the team upcoming, and welcome to the Rams, I guess." Like, he was grumpy. I get it was late, but like, it was not a good look for the start of the career of Ty Simpson.
Well, at least he can hang his hat on the fact that he is a first round pick regardless.
He was, and he's going to get that first round pick Monday.
That he will. So, Herb, outside of that, should I do my damnation of the fucking Vikings now, or should we wait until we get into winners and losers?
I think if we want to dive into winners and losers, the floor is yours. But if you want to hold off a little bit, feel free.
Okay, let's hit it. Fuck those idiots. I don't know if there was a team that had a worse goddamn weekend than the Minnesota Vikings did.
Oh boy.
Pick 18 with Mekhi Lemon's still on the board. We have Lyman. We have Dylan Thieneman still out there. You had the kid from Toledo still out there. So Omar Cooper was still out there. You had dudes across both lines that were still available. And these dumbasses in the Minnesota front office decided to go and pick Caleb Banks, a 6'6", 300-pound defensive tackle who has now broken his foot twice in the span of the last 8 months. I don't care how productive you are on the field. It doesn't matter if you can't stay healthy. And there's nothing I hate worse than a big man that has foot problems. Because, Herb, I don't know if you've realized, as a big guy, once you have feet problems, they don't tend to go away.
Nope.
And to double down, that made me just as fucking mad about this pick. We talked about this. You know the last person, defensive tackle, that we took from the University of Florida in the first round? You do, because I told you already.
Yeah, Sharif Floyd out of Florida, baby.
And Sharif Floyd lasted 2 years in the NFL before he had a massive knee injury, and then he had to medically retire.
If history tells us anything, this is probably a poor pick.
So not only do we do that first round, fine. If he can play, maybe it's a good pick. Maybe. I don't even know when he's going to be ready to play. Second round, we go and address linebacker of all positions. That wasn't really high on my fucking to-do list this weekend for Jake Golday. The dude's going to be a goddamn special teamer if he's lucky this season. And then to top it off, hey, one defensive tackle in the first 2 rounds wasn't good enough. Let's go take a fucking second in the third round. 2 of our first 3 picks were defensive tackles. We picked a 2-down defensive tackle in the third round. And to top it all off, we traded Jonathan Gennard for 2 fucking third-round picks.
Yeah, for soda in the vending machine.
Sir, I am up in arms. I demand answers. I want to see Kevin O'Connell in that front office put on trial. Because the decision-making that occurred in that war room was flawed. Extremely flawed. Herb, you know who was available in the second round still when we took that linebacker from Cincinnati?
Shit ton of guys. I mean, there were a lot of middle linebackers still available too.
I don't even care about middle linebackers. Like I said, that wasn't high on my priority list. The kid from Toledo, the safety from Toledo, was sitting there.
After passing on Thieneman.
After passing on Thieneman that everybody had mocked to the Vikings. We didn't address the safety position until
Jacoby from Miami. Jacoby Thomas in the third.
Yeah, that guy.
That you had to trade into.
Dude, I look at our draft class from this weekend, and I don't know if there is a singular impact player from this draft class.
No. For you guys, no. And so here's where I'm at with the Vikings, okay? I do agree. Sorry, hold on, technical skills. Here's where I'm at with the Vikings. I do agree that I think they needed to address D tackle. I didn't think it was going to be in the first. I like Dominic Orange for you guys. I think he's going to end up being a better prospect than Caleb Banks, and that I know that hurts to hear. I like the player. Caleb Banks, everybody talked about this guy's a wrecker. He had a great little Senior Bowl to start, and then all of a sudden you find out about the foot. I don't see the production in college. Yeah, he's a mammoth of a man. He's going to look good coming off the bus. But he can't stay on the field, and when he is on the field, it's not like the numbers blow me away. I thought there were better options. Here's salt in the wound for you. You pass on arguably your number one need at safety and your guy, and a guy that I think you had come to terms with, that you weren't in love with, but you were going to be okay with them taking him in the first.
Correct.
Then your division rival, the Bears, go ahead and take him.
Correct.
That's fucking tough. That's fucking tough, dude.
Yeah.
The fact that you
doesn't
guys
feel great.
The fact that you guys didn't address receiver, which, so you know.
Oh yeah. Yep.
This was the tied for the most receivers taken in the first 3 rounds in NFL draft history. And you guys weren't a part of it. Even having 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. Come on. Jordan Addison might not be on the field next year. We know about the issues off the field. You got Kyler Murray plus a young quarterback you're trying to develop. Get him a weapon, something. The last comment.
So now we're going into the season with Tay Felton, or into OTAs with Tay Felton as our number 3. So with all the money that we've gotten to save this offseason from cutting everybody, now we get to go spend the money on a number 3 receiver like Jawan Jennings because our dumbasses didn't address it through the draft.
Yep. And you are going to have to pay him too. Not crazy because he's still out there, but you're going to have to pay him.
Not crazy. What did Josh Palmer sign for last year? 3 years, like $15 million per season?
Listen, we called that a mistake when it happened.
Yeah. If I'm Jawan Jennings, I'm demanding no less than that.
Here's one thing I definitely wanted to touch on about your draft class, and it was a reach, but I like the fit where it is because of the style of offense you guys run. Max Bredesen is going to be a player for you.
No.
I think he's kind of a gadgety guy. He can play this J-back position. You're going to find ways to use him. I didn't understand drafting him.
No.
I thought he was a
We
UDFA.
drafted a fullback. We drafted a fullback in the 5th round.
Correct. So the reach, I don't hate the player for the fit for the team. I hate the fact that they use a draft pick on him.
But that gets into a whole different topic. The amount of reaches on tight ends in this draft class was psychotic. I don't know what was in the water in everybody's war rooms. There was dudes going rounds ahead of where they were projected on big boards everywhere, like consensus.
So let me hit you with this, and this is something that I've kind of thought about of why was this happening? Why were so many tight ends that any other year would have been a UDFA signing? Why were these guys going? Right? A couple years back, about 10 years ago, NFL teams shifted to the 1-2 punch at running back. So you saw a lot of teams taking running back in 2, 3, 4 round, right? Maybe that's the shift now. Tight end is such a premium position now in the NFL because of the players that are playing the position. But if you look at those guys, if you look at Brock Bowers in Vegas, they've got Michael Meyer right there. The Bears have Loveland and Kmet, right? I mean, you keep going down the list here. There's a lot of teams running 2 tight end sets with 2 quality tight ends. Shit, the Bears run more 2 tight end set than anybody else in the damn league. I wonder how much that mentality shift, and we're going to see over the next 5 years, where teams have 2 legit dudes, 1A, 1B at tight end. I wonder if that stems from this, or this stems from that, I should say.
But that doesn't even account for a team like the Rams. They already have 3 tight ends on the roster.
That one makes no sense.
And then they drafted another one in the 3rd round.
Who is essentially just a Terrence Ferguson copy. And you've already got him. Yeah. And so that leads me into one of my biggest losers. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
What the fuck?
What are we doing Nate Borkacher? Is that the name?
Yes.
Have you seen the stats on this kid?
Yes.
It's spent 3 years at Nebraska doing nothing because Matt Rule doesn't believe in a tight end. Then goes to A&M and has what? Let me find it real quick. I got the screenshot here. Where the hell is it?
He had 19 catches last season.
For how many yards?
Sorry.
Because I think he's got about 400 total yards in college.
That sounds about right.
So for you,
last year, 19 catches, 198 yards.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Career, he had 300, 400, just over 400 yards receiving across 5 years of college football.
And, I mean, you want to talk about reach. Talk about the tight ends that were taken after Nate Borkacher. Okay? Marlon Klein out of Michigan, big reach. Body, 100%. But after Nate, Max Clare went after him. Who else went after him? Oscar Delp out of Georgia went after him. Sam Roosh from
Oscar Delp. I don't know how he became the 5th or 6th tight end taken.
Mm-hmm.
He was the consensus number 3.
Yeah, the backup at Will Kaczmarek, whatever the hell his name is. But Eli Reardon out of Notre Dame. By the way, shout out West Des Moines Valley High School, Eli Reardon.
Hey, that was actually a solid pick, though.
Oh, great pick. But those are all guys that went after Nate Borkacher. Mm-hmm. And for a team like Jacksonville, who has Brenton Strange, that you believe in Brenton Strange in a big, big way, how much you featured him, this pick, it made no sense. But then, like, you look at the rest of the Jaguars' situation in this draft, it was abysmal. It was absolutely abysmal. Because after that, the best pick that they have, and I'll get them credit here, is Emmanuel Pregnon in the 3rd. Number 1, great value. I had him going late first. maybe inside the top 5 in the second round. But you got him in the third, so you got great value. The contract's not going to be bad. He's going to be a starter for you. Outside of that, there isn't Jalen Husky from Maryland, not going to be a player for you. C.J. Williams from Stanford, the wide receiver, not going to be a player for you. Josh Cameron, wide receiver from Baylor, not going to be a player for you. Keep in mind, too, not only did they take Nate Borkacher, they took Tanner Koziel out of Houston 3 rounds later. They doubled up on reach tight ends.
The only thing that saved the Jaguars, in my opinion, in this year's draft was the fact that they were able to get Pregnon, the guard from Oregon, who fell all the way to the 3rd round.
Yes. Yeah,
this was a player that I think should have been a 2nd round pick, probably a higher end 2nd round pick, in all honesty. I think that is the only thing that is saving this draft class.
He's the only starter in their class.
But I think you nailed it. Like, with the ginormous needs that they have at other positions, it felt like they were just going with luxury picks. And the thing that just continues to throw me with the Borkacher pick is the fact that you're drafting a tight end, a blocking tight end at that. But then if you actually look into his stats, he's not even that good of a blocking tight end either. So the entire thought process of the pick is just flawed. Like, if you're going to go and draft a blocking tight end, sure. Might as well go and get the best one available, which was not him. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
None whatsoever. And I think Gladstone's the GM there. There's something. Have you ever watched an interview with that guy? He's a real young guy. He's like my age, 32 or 33.
Yeah.
I think he thinks he's something fucking special and that he's got a leg up on everybody because in what was it? Was his first draft last year, right? Where he pulled off the Travis Hunter trade and all this and that, and he knows better than everybody. This is the type of draft that loses you your fucking job.
Yeah.
So, can I hit you with another loser I got?
Let's flip it for a second. Let's give some praise real quick.
Let me hear where you're at, because I heard a lot of negativity out of you this weekend. I haven't heard the praise yet.
So I just talked about the team that I think had the worst NFL draft, and that was the Minnesota Vikings. On the flip side, the team that I personally believe had the best draft this weekend was the New York Giants. Yes, Arvell Reese was in a position of need, but when a player of that potential slides to you at number 5, you take him and you don't even think about it, especially considering you just traded Dexter Lawrence. Kayvon Thibodeau is most likely not going to be on the team in a year. So then you're going to have a need for a player like Arvell Reese. And even if you're not using Arvell Reese off the edge like many expect him to be during his career, he has the capability of playing linebacker, inside linebacker, which is a position of need for the Giants. So even if you don't know how to exactly deploy him this season, he will still find his way on the field. But then on top of that, then you go and add another offensive lineman in Maui Goa from Miami. I think that was a solid pick as well. He may not start at either tackle positions this season. He may potentially slide into guard this year, or is just kind of a swing tackle for them. But again, I am not against having too much offensive line talent. As a Minnesota Vikings fan, I wish we had more of it last season once we started having all the injuries. But then where they really killed it was Colton Hood, who had been getting a ton of late praise that I thought he was going to be a late first round pick. To get him at the top of the second was incredible value. And then Malachi Fields, who I had talked about in one of our previous segments, out of Notre Dame, big-bodied receiver that you can throw on the outside so that Malik Neighbors can kind of move throughout the entire offense and doesn't truly have to play that exposition, I think is going to pay massive dividends for Jackson Dart. So,
Yeah, yeah.
shout out to the Giants. John Harbaugh killed it with this draft. And it was solely just them letting the board fall to them, really. They didn't trade up for any of these picks, I don't think. They just let the board fall to them, as it may.
Yeah, you got 3 bona fide starters plus Malachi Fields, who will be a nice complement to Malik Neighbors with some development. I mean, that's a guy who's been nothing but consistent in college. Played at Virginia, had back-to-back 800-yard years with 5 touchdowns apiece. Last year, a little bit slower year, 40 catches, but still had 5 touchdowns.
If nothing else, he will serve as a big-bodied receiver down the red zone this season.
Perfect. And then they go out and get the D tackle from Auburn, Bobby Jamison Travis. A project piece, but a big run stuffer, which losing Dexter, you need something to fill that. I'm not saying this kid's going to come in and fill his shoes, but he's 6'3", 335 pounds. That's a big boy. That's what you need. Mm-hmm. Even if he's just a body and he develops over time, awesome. No, I agree. I think the Giants had an incredible draft as well. Wasn't mad about the Arvell Reese thing. I was confused by it. It's like, where does he go? But knowing John Harbaugh, we could this is going to sound crazy. We could see Arvell Reese playing safety again in certain packages. That's how versatile and athletic this kid is. Yeah, it's 6'4", 240. I mean, why not? If you don't have the room up front in the box, get him on the field, get him playing.
Exactly. Like, it's one thing if it was a player that could only play one position and you're stuck, right? Like, there's just not enough room for him. Arvell Reese is not a gadget player, but he's a versatile player that can play multiple different positions on a defense wherever asked. So, in a guy of his caliber, I think we all agree, of that caliber, will find his way on the field.
Yes, 100% yes. Not mad about it. I do think they need to trade Thibodeau. Get the value. The initial report right away was they've already spoken to Thibodeau. They're not trading him. And then 2 days later, before the end of the draft, all of a sudden, here come the trade rumors, and the Saints are the number one to go get him. You know, that's the beast of the business that is the NFL. Like, here it comes. We just got a kid who's 10 years younger than, just about 10 years younger than you are. He's taking your job. So, I'll give praise instead of my worst. And it sucks that I'm saying it because I know it's not going to go anywhere. Cleveland.
Really?
What a draft.
Oh, you're saying praises. Yes. Cleveland killed it.
But what I'm saying is, it's Cleveland, and there's a curse. And as good as a draft class as they had last year and this year, like, I know it's not going to equate to wins, but looking at the class as a whole, I love this class. Spencer Fano.
Like, the thought process behind every single pick was spot on.
It fits. Perfectly.
And the fact that they were able to trade down from 6 to 9 with the Chiefs, which we had talked about, that trade didn't make sense whatsoever in either of our heads.
Nope.
I don't think anybody was picking Mansour Delane before number 9, but we could be mistaken. Who knows?
We're going to come back to that.
But for the Browns to trade back and still, I'm assuming, draft the player that they were targeting the entire time.
100%, because at 9, they still had the option between Fano and Maui Goa.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there with the same decision to make that they were at 6 at 9, and now hold more draft picks. And guess what? We just fleeced the Kansas City Chiefs. So as a whole, though, like, Fano, great pick. If you believe in the guy, again, versatile. He's going to play all over the place. He can play anywhere you want him to. Also, what a draft day fit. Rocking the Islander. I don't know the name, unfortunately, but it's the full length skirt. Rocking the button down with the kind of the Islander feel to it. Letting the long hair go. Love it.
Wait. Speaking of that, of draft day fits, did you see what Arvell Reese, his jacket had?
No.
It had the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups logo on the inside of the jacket.
Wonder how
It
much
was actually kind of fire.
wonder how much you got for that. Back to the Browns. So Spencer Fano, and we both knew that wide receiver was a need for him, right?
Yeah.
So they said, fuck it, let's double down. One of these two guys has to work, and we're going to get two polar opposite types. We're going to go out and get Casey Conception, our slot guy, and Denzel Boston, who is 6'4", 220 pounds.
Yeah, and I think there was pause after the first round because Denzel Boston was still on the board there, and people were arguing that he probably should have been Cleveland's pick there rather than Casey Concepcion, whatever. But the fact that they ended up getting both of them, it kind of nets out anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you switch them around, everybody would be applauding this to high hell.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And then, so they go Casey in the late.
Sorry about that.
Casey in the late first, right? Love the pick, love the fit for him. He's going to hopefully do what Elijah Moore was supposed to do for him. Then they go Boston in this early second. They've got another pick in the late second, and they go get what some people considered the second best safety prospect on the board in Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo. All of a sudden, it's him and Grant Delpit back there.
You put him in a Power 4 uniform the last 3 seasons, that is a bona fide first-round pick.
100%. So you're talking about arguably the number 1 tackle, the number 3 or 4, 5 wide receivers, and the number 2 or 3 safety. But they didn't stop there. Austin Barber out of Florida is a great tackle prospect. Give you nothing but depth. You go out and get the center from Alabama. I can't remember the last time a center from Alabama didn't at least hang around the league for 5 years. So, okay, quality depth there. Then you go all the way down, and people are knocking this pick, and I don't get the pick, but I don't hate the pick, is Taylon Green, quarterback out of Arkansas.
Dude, shit, in the 6th round at that point, with not having any clarity on who your quarterback of the future is, who cares? Throw a dart out there.
And let's go get one of the most interesting quarterback prospects of this whole thing.
Exactly.
Why not?
We've seen what Monken can do with highly skilled quarterbacks of that skill set. He's essentially a taller Lamar Jackson that passed the ball more efficiently in college than Lamar did.
Yeah. And I think that signals that, hey, Dylan Gabriel and Stewart better step it the fuck up this offseason into camp.
Gabriel's done. Yeah. Dylan's gone. Did you see the first voluntary practice that they had this offseason? He threw 2 picks in 7-on-7s. He's done. He's out.
And that's kind of where I lean. Shedeur, I think it should be Shedeur to start the beginning of the year, but there's this Deshaun Watson bullshit.
I think Watson's going to start.
I hope Watson never gets to take another snap in the league. I think it's a fucking disgrace to the league and part of the Cleveland curse that he is still on the roster. He's a fucking disgusting.
He was going to get paid regardless.
I don't give a shit. Matter. You know, he does not have the right to put on a fucking NFL jersey, in my opinion. But that's for another day. Overall, Browns draft, addressed need. Every pick was deliberate, and it feels like they went and got their guys for Todd Monken. Added to a team that, with a little bit more experienced quarterback play, might win a couple games next year. I'm not saying they're playoff bound, but I think we're going to see a Browns team that is young, fast, hungry, and that is ultimately going to be a little bit better than what we've been seeing.
There's something to get excited about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've spent about 45 minutes on the draft, and I still want to talk NBA playoffs here. So just a couple more items that I just wanted to highlight as well. Another loser that I had was the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
So they traded out of pick 27, ended up at 33, which is the first pick of the second round. Then they used that on Dezane Striblin, wide receiver out of Ole Miss.
Oh, a guy that nobody's fucking heard of?
Yeah, he was the 76th overall rated player on ESPN, 120th at CBS Sports, and then used a third-round pick on Kalen Black, who wasn't even invited to the combine.
Yeah.
So 2 just wild picks from the San Francisco 49ers, which, again, is another team that is has aspirations to
Now,
win a Super Bowl this upcoming season. So to make these sort of picks is just dumbfounding to me.
we said pre-draft that they have to address wide receiver, offensive line, and edge. They needed the depth because of the injuries on defense. They needed the O-line because they are getting older up front. They could potentially take somebody in the future. So you're three positions of massive need. And you go with Stribling. Here's who was still on the board at the time of Stribling's of him being selected. TJ Parker, Cade McDonald, Colton Hood, Denzel Boston, Cassius Howell, Zion Young, Derek Moore, Jeremy Bernard. Like the list goes on and on and on for these guys. And they go with a wide receiver nobody's heard of. This might be one of the worst drafts that we saw, truthfully. It just they addressed need with reach after reach, and it just none of it made sense. It felt like this draft got away from them in a hurry.
And I don't know if it truly addressed any needs, because I don't know if these players are going to be able to come in and actually do anything in year one.
No, the most, I'll tell you this much. Me looking at it, the most productive player out of this draft class is going to be Romello Height, who I like. I like as a prospect. He's my favorite pick that they had. He played opposite of David Bailey for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Quality football player, 6'6", about 250-ish, 260-ish. Developmental, which is fine. Sit him behind Bosa and let him learn a little bit. But it just doesn't make sense. Kalen Black, I don't hate. Fine. For some reason, Shanahan always seems to get quite a bit out of no-name RB2s. Cool with that. Whatever. The Niners, what do you do? John Lynch, what are you doing? Did you see his post-draft conference?
No.
Some reporter had the balls to basically ask him, you have a history of picking busts, and you reached on every single pick of this draft. What gives you what's your confidence in these guys? What are you seeing that we're not? Because your track record sucks. And John Lynch just had to sit there like a deer in the headlights. This draft got away from them, and they reached with their first pick, and they didn't stop. I mean, they couldn't stop that bleed to save their life.
Yeah, you got to respect the balls on that reporter, though. I love when dudes are held accountable like that.
And he didn't do it in an
Answer for your sins,
way.
John Lynch. Seriously. Answer for them.
I mean, again, a team that's just, they have to win now.
You're saying you like the Kalen Black pick, but I'm sorry. Like, sure, as a player, he was good at Indiana last year. He was the 15th ranked player at running back, according to some draft boards. But it's the team that drafted them, the 49ers. Kalen Black isn't a receiving running back. He had 4 catches last year. I don't know how he fits in. You already have Brian Robinson as your backup.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see how he fits it. Like, he's a special teamer.
And if they were sitting here saying, like, okay, we're gonna go get a power running back, right? Like we're gonna get a change of pace from Christian. We're gonna go get a power guy who's a little bit of a project. Mike Washington out of Arkansas, who I know you don't like, but he was there. He's a big body power. He was kind of the power back of this thing. Why not take him? Why not take Coleman out of Washington, who does do a good job catching the football? I'll agree with you there. I don't hate it, but there were better options at the time. We'll see what he's got. He's little. He's littler than I thought.
5'8".
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays in the NFL. I tell you what, the Raiders, or I shouldn't say the Raiders, Mendoza got some dudes fucking paid.
Yeah,
like
without a doubt.
Got some dude. Like, is a guy like Surratt a name who again, and Omar Cooper, quality receivers, don't get me wrong. Are they drafted as high if Mendoza's not slinging the rock?
Probably not, to be honest.
Probably not. No, the Niners were one of my biggest. Like, I hated everything about their draft.
And then to wrap it up, the last loser that I had, not a team, but a player. And I just, heart goes out to, actually, no, his dad's an NFL coach. I don't feel bad. Garrett Nussmeier.
Mm,
Falling all the way to the 7th round. A dude that, if he would have entered the draft last year, is more than likely a first round pick. Falls all the way to the 7th round, 10th quarterback off the board. I don't know. I know he had injuries this last year. I think he was still better than a 7th round pick. But in all honesty, for him, falling to the Kansas City Chiefs may not be the worst thing in the world for him, because you get to be in an Andy Reid offense, which is very quarterback friendly, but then you also get to be in the same quarterback room as Patrick Mahomes, which I don't think that is a bad thing. I think in the best case scenario for Garrett Nussmeier, he goes out, balls in the preseason for a couple years, and then maybe you're like a Jimmy Garoppolo or even a Jacoby Brissett type,
sure.
where they got drafted to the Patriots when Brady was there with no shot of ever starting, but they showed enough, and then they were able to go prove it somewhere else. So
And
sucks that he fell all the way to the 7th, but
zero pressure on him, though, because even if Mahomes isn't ready to go, it's not like, hey, Nussmeier, you got to go in there and figure this shit out as a 7th round rookie. No, they got Gardner. Or no, they don't have Gardner. They got Justin Fields there, right? So it's like, hey, no pressure on you, dude. Just come in here and learn how to be a pro, learn the game from one of the best quarterbacks to ever play it. Cool. What'd you think about Cade Klubnik to the Jets?
Nah, it's a dart throw. He'll battle with Brady Cook for number 2. May get a starter too at some point in the season. For a dude that last year looked like he could be a high caliber quarterback, I don't hate it. I will blame all issues with Clade Klubnik on Dabo Sweeney and whatever the fuck he's feeding them down there, because it's a bunch of bullshit at this point, I've determined. I think that's a valid dart throw for the Jets.
I mean, I love the fit for the player. I think he could be dynamic. And out of the rookies, other than maybe Mendoza, but even with these, Mendoza might sit behind Kirk Cousins, he might find himself in the best rookie quarterback position out of everyone. Because if Geno comes in and does what he did in Vegas, the Jets may be turning to another option. And if he can beat out Brady Cook, which I think he can do, we might be seeing Cade Klubnik start week 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, with plenty of offensive talent, I think now with Breece Hall, now you got Mason Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq, Garrett Wilson and Omar Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little core that they got there now.
Yeah, you're starting to see it come together. Like you can see that there's actually a vision there now. And God, you want to talk about a solid draft? Talk the Jets a little bit.
I was going to shout them out if we had more time.
Yeah.
I liked what they did.
I mean, shit, their first 4 picks are all going to start for them next year.
Yeah. But let's switch gears and hit the NBA playoffs real quick. And before we dive like super deep into any of the specific series, I had texted you the other day that you need to be prepared, armed and ready with an apology for a man that you have consistently bashed over the history of this podcast. And I don't think he deserved any of it. Rudy Gobert
absolutely deserved it.
Rudy Gobert, one of the most misunderstood players in NBA history. You owe that man a public apology on the record, as he has almost single-handedly shut down Nikola Jokic and that number 1 rated Nuggets offense thus far in these NBA playoffs.
I don't know that I would go as far to say that he has shut down Jokic, who's still averaging minimum 20 and 10. Like minimum.
So you're just box score watching. You're looking at points and assists. Look at his field goal percentage
Oh, I'm well aware. He's getting most of his points from the line, or quite a few of them from the line. No, I'll say that incredible job by Rudy to finally figure it out. My concern with Rudy is, can he maintain this? I don't think he can. I think he's showing out right now, but is he going to be this dominant through the whole playoff? I don't see it happening. I think Rudy's going to Rudy, man. I will admit that, like, he deserved it last year. He absolutely deserved it last year, and you know that as a fan. He did. Yes, he did. Okay? I'm glad that he's taken a step. I'm glad that he's actually a part of the offense. He is playing incredible defense. He looks like every bit of the defensive player of the year that he has been. But I can't sit here and be like, oh, yeah, Rudy's the greatest in the world. He's going to help carry these guys. I think he flames out after this series.
This was an extremely backhanded, not really an apology at all to Rudy Gobert.
What did you expect?
I hope you realize.
Did you expect a heartfelt, written down 3 pages, handwritten, or what?
I was expecting at least some acknowledgement of how well he's played.
I just said how well he's played.
Some sort of flowers. No, you're like, I don't know about locked up. Jokic is still putting up 20 and 10.
I mean, he is.
Yeah, and before last night's game, he was shooting 8% from the field. As a dude that shot in the regular season 56% from the field.
I mean, he had a bad game the last game they played in the loss. He had a bad game.
The games 2 through 4 were all horrible games. 8 of 22, 7 of 26, 8 of 20. Between all of those, he was 3 of 20 from 3.
I'm saying Rudy had a bad game last game.
Oh. Yeah, so did the entire team.
3.7 boards, no blocks. Eesh.
We're also out our entire fucking starting backcourt at this point.
Yeah, that is a tough one there. No, I said he looks every bit defensively like the player he once was. My concern is that this is the pinnacle of his playing in the playoffs, and ultimately that's going to hurt you. I mean, the injuries are what's going to hurt you, but.
Yeah, and at that point, you can't blame Rudy Gobert for it.
No, I'm not. Listen, if they get bounced.
No, you're already. I can already see you.
Oh, let's see how it goes.
You're scheming up in your head right now of how you're going to blame the Timberwolves losing in the playoffs on Rudy Gobert. All things considered. I can see it. I can see you cooking right now.
I'll give you this, okay? I am hopeful that the T-Wolves finish this thing out because I do want to see Victor Wembanyama make Rudy Gobert look like he's playing in the Pee-wees because Victor is going to absolutely cook him. And watching the 2 bigs from France go at it, why not? Primetime television. Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah. Don't know what happens next series. Low-key, honestly hope that this series against the Nuggets goes 7 and we win in 7 because that just means longer until next round starts, which means more time for Anthony Edwards to rest, which means more games in round 2 that he would be likely to play in.
Sure. Yeah, no, good luck. I still think the MVP plays for Denver.
Oh no, I'm still gonna ride the high though. This series has easily been the most electric of all of the series so far. These teams truly hate each other with a passion. And for those that were unfamiliar with Jaden McDaniels' game, not just on the court, but off the court, that dude don't give a fuck about no one. Dude, I don't know about the Timberwolves. They have received 0 PR training over the years. Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards still say the first thing that comes like they think of in their head. There is 0 filter whatsoever. Those two.
I almost texted you after he said they're all ass defenders. They're all booty defenders. And I almost texted you saying, boy, he had better show out on the next one. And
guess did. What? Dude, he backed that shit up. He backed that shit up so hard.
Dude, I tell you what, would have been a tough day for you right now if he wouldn't have.
Oh my God. No, he balled up so hard in game 3 after that with his best game of the series, not only locking up Jamal Murray to high hell, he had Murray in a goddamn box that game. But then he went up and put up 20 and 10 as well with an emphatic dunk in there as well. It was electric. The aura points gained by Jaden McDaniels this series. It's crazy.
Seeing as we're talking McDaniels, what do you make of the layup at the end?
Okay. I thank you for bringing this up. They're going to say he broke an unbroken rule or an unspoken rule of shooting or laying that up. Like, they're not going to acknowledge the fact that we were up by double digits, and I think it was Murray or somebody on the Nuggets shot a 3-pointer with the shot clock off the prior possession, like leading to that layup. They didn't have to shoot that ball. That was a concerted, like, they did that on purpose. They had no shot of winning that game. So don't come at me with this bullshit about breaking unspoken rules when you literally just fucking did it. I have no problem with this, especially with knowing the background of these two teams and how much they hate each other. Fuck it. Yeah. I would have 360 windmilled off the backboard if I was McDaniels. That was the quickest I've seen Jokic move the entire goddamn game was at the end. That was the best defense he played. And it happened with a second left.
I think the whole situation's FUBAR. Again, the three shouldn't have been shot. The layup shouldn't have been done. We're breaking unspoken rules. I didn't like Jokic sprinting down there. I thought that was a bad look for a multi-time MVP, for somebody who is in that face of the league conversations, right? I think that's a bad look to go all the way from free throw to end line like that. I think it was going to come back the other way. You want to say something after, feel free. But to go running down there, that's what made it, for me, look so bad. Like, God, this is not what we should be doing. We're also talking about, and you mentioned it, they fucking hate each other. This is the playoffs. They've seen each other before in the playoffs. This is it compounded to this.
And it's like one of those things, like, where was the passion during the game? When literally you guys got outscored 63-42 in the second half when we were without Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. You got bodied by Ayo Damansu.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome for him.
Yeah, thank you. Like, don't come in here with all of this anger at the end of a game where you lost by 10 for a game that, in all reality, you should have cruised to a victory to tie the series. And at the very end, get all butthurt about a layup.
No.
It's ridiculous.
I would agree with you there. If you don't like the outcome of the game, play better in the third quarter.
Right. I'm always an advocate for that. It's like, if you are that upset about it, the only person you can be upset with is yourself. You're supposed to be the leader of that team. Light a fire under your other players, your teammates. Tell them how this is not acceptable, the performance that they are putting out there right now. Like, get out of here. I'm infuriating. And the fact that there was no sort of repercussions at all is wild to me, too.
No, there was.
What, some fines?
Yeah, there were fines along the way. No suspensions, but a $50,000 fine for Jokic, $35,000 fine for Julius Randle.
Some BS, in my opinion.
Yeah. Can I shift? Are we good on that series? There is a series in the West that I think there is an apology needed, probably from both of us, but more on your end. You know where I'm going.
Go. Yeah.
There's a 41-year-old nightmare who is playing like he is the greatest basketball player of all time. LeBron James. We talked about, is he enough to carry this team without Luka, without Reeves. Guess what? He is.
Sure as hell is.
God, I mean, the past 4 games. Granted, he didn't play well in the last game. He's tired, I think. He only played 33 of the minutes, which is low for him. I'm a Jordan guy. I've always been a Jordan guy. Jordan, is number one in my heart. I'm officially ready to accept that LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Thank you. I started having this conversation at work, and they can't see through it. But we need to.
It hurts to say it.
We need to respect the greatness of what we have seen for the last 21 years. Michael Jordan was. Remember his last year for a non-playoff team, Washington Wizards, shooting less than 50% from the floor. And then look at what LeBron's doing at 41, 42 years old. The dude is carrying a team by himself through the NBA playoffs right now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's what it is. No. You're 100% right, and that's where I came to the realization was that when Michael was with Washington, it was to sell tickets. He was still putting up points, don't get me wrong, but it was a shadow of Michael Jordan. We are still getting not prime LeBron, but this is not a shadow of LeBron. This is LeBron James at 41 playing at his highest level, and it is still impressing every single game.
This is a LeBron James that you could argue is still a top 25 basketball player in the league.
Maybe top 20, top 15 conversations. Legitimately. I mean, he is out there dominating and holding this team together. They're going to get out of this series, and all of a sudden Reeves is back and maybe Luka's back.
Yeah, you're talking about him potentially getting a little bit tired with the amount of workload that he's gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got them exactly where they needed to be. They're up 3-1, and it looks like Reeves is going to be back in Game 5 to
I hadn't heard that yet.
Take a lot of the burden off of LeBron. And then we're still not sure about when Luka is going to make his return, but it's looking like it potentially could be next round.
I had heard Game 2 of round 2.
So he did what he needed to do. But in fairness, I know you said we might need to apologize. In fairness, I didn't realize how severe this Kevin Durant injury was. And the fact that he's been limited to one game. I still truly think if Kevin Durant is fully healthy, this series looks completely different.
Agreed. And what I didn't realize, because you look at the Rockets roster and they should be competitive even without KD. That team is built around KD as a whole. I thought KD was the star scorer that was going to come in. Yes, the offense will go through him, but this team seemingly cannot function without KD doing what KD does. They don't have another option. They might, I doubt it, but they might be kicking themselves on the Jalen Green trade because Jalen Green played very, very well in the series. But they could use somebody like a Jalen Green to come out and just pop off when KD isn't there. I didn't realize that Sengun and Thompson and Parker couldn't do it on their own.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest concern is just the lack of guard depth that this Rockets team has. Your best guard player is Amen Thompson. He can't shoot the ball from outside of the paint. He packs the paint. If Reed Shepherd isn't shooting the ball effectively or efficiently, along with Jabari Smith, I should say, and if KD's not playing, they have no 3-point players that scare you. Any players that can scare you from the 3-point line. So the Lakers, that's where it works out for them. They just force everything in the middle.
Yeah, and I think they were probably banking on Okogie, the former T-Wolf there.
Josh Okogie.
I thought maybe he would step up a little bit more. He's He's known for it. That he could hit some shots. Truthfully, I think down low. Like Sengun for me has just been a disappointment. Getting his lunch ate up. I didn't think losing Steven Adams would be this big of a deal for the Rockets either. It is. They don't have the muscle down low to deal with Ayton, who, by the way, LeBron is making him look like he's a fucking incredible player. And we both know he's going to get that Timothy Mozgov treatment on the next contract because of what's happening right now.
Yeah. No, I think the true MVP of this series, outside of LeBron, Luke Kennard.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about, and I think he may be one of the most underrated shooters in the entire NBA. This is a dude that is consistently at the top, if not near the top, in 3-point field goal percentage over the course of his career, and nobody seems to talk about it when they talk about best 3-point shooters in the entire league. You give this guy a little bit of space, and it's lights out for you.
He's shooting 45% from three.
I think that's lower. I think that's lower than what he was shooting in the regular season.
Regular season, he was shooting, one moment, this year was shooting 47, almost 48%.
Exactly. He's making almost half of his 3-point shots. That is fucking wild.
And the fact that he, like, the offense, and I'll give a credit to JJ Redick because JJ Redick was a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, right? He wasn't going to walk you down to the three and pull. He was catch ball, shoot ball. I think he's developed part of that into this offense, which ultimately benefits LeBron as the slasher that he is. Where Kennard's just finding himself wide open, LeBron takes in, Ruri takes in, kick back out, and shoot it, white boy. Bang.
No, literally this series has gone exactly how the Lakers needed this series to go, where LeBron was going to be the main kind of playmaker. You give him a bunch of shooters or hopeful shooters around him and just let him distribute the ball. And guess what? It's worked to a goddamn T. Kennard shooting 45%. Lucas Smart shooting 44%. Ruri Hachimura is shooting 52%. Like, those are ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
Over the course of, and it's not a small sample size anymore. This is 4 games now in which they have continuously shot the ball effectively from 3-point. More than effectively. It's crazy.
And somebody said, well, these guys weren't shooting good in the regular season. You know, how could we have known they were going to shoot like this? Well, yeah, no shit, they weren't shooting like that in the regular season. All those shots were being taken by Luke and Reeves.
Facts.
No Facts. Shit. No shit, Luke Kennard. Well, you know, he shot well, but he didn't shoot in volume. Yeah, he couldn't get the fucking touches.
Dude, I saw a clip on like TikTok or something and I think it was like right after Kennard got traded to the Lakers, where Reeves you could see like Kennard like visibly like clapping his hands, looking for the ball, or like just sitting wide open on the 3-point line. And Luka or Reeves is just going to work and puts up an awful shot. It just happens to go in. So it's like, oh, I don't care. Shot went in. Well, and Kennard's just sitting out there like, I am wide open. Please give me the ball.
So think about that now. So that situation happened, right? Luke and Reeves go down. We see what an effective and lethal shooter Kennard can be from the arc. Well, now all of a sudden we get Luka and we get Reeves back in round 2. We get there. Now it doesn't just have to be a 3-headed monster. Now we've got other options in Ayton, in Ruri, in Kennard, that if Reeves is having a bad game or Luka's doing what Luka does and just hucking shots up and just isn't playing up to the potential, hey, let's audible. Let's start to get the role guys involved. And now, as a Laker fan, we know they're capable. What a great position you're in. And meanwhile, you've got the greatest basketball player of all time. And it hurts me to say it, but I am admitting it. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to do it.
Preach, brother. Speed run through the rest of this series. Let's call some teams dead here real quick. Suns, dead.
Yeah, that's over. It's
Trailblazers.
4-0.
Oh, it's already dead? Okay.
Yep.
Dead. Trailblazers, dead.
Yep.
76ers, dead.
Dead. Well, they're just a
No,
live
dead.
update. They're up 3
Dead.
right now.
Dead. Celtics next round. Thank you. I'm ready to say it. Pistons, dead. Number 1 team in the East, dead.
Can we talk about that just real quick? Have we seen a streakier team than the Detroit Pistons? Like, holy hell, when they are cold, they are freezing.
Yeah, they have no fucking shooters. And then Jaren Duran picked the worst possible time to be playing some of the worst basketball of his career. He is getting thoroughly outplayed by your boy Wendell Carter. Mm-hmm. Game in and game out.
And I said it after the first 2 games. Everywhere he turns in the paint, it's Wagner, it's Wendell, it's just consistent battery down low.
Yeah. Magic are doing anything and everything that they want. And we need to start. I know I've said some negative things about Paulo during the regular season, and I still don't know how I feel about him as a true superstar. But there truly is a playoff Paulo out there. Mm-hmm. His stats in the postseason over the course of the last 3 seasons, even though I don't think they've won any of those series, are fucking crazy compared to his regular season stats, which are already pretty solid, all things considered.
Yeah. Paulo, I think we're seeing what he was supposed to be. I think Cade Cunningham is trying to do it all by himself. He can't do it all by himself. I think bully. I know, but it's just not enough. And their version of bully ball that they got away from in the first 2 games, and they tried it, got a game back. Cool. It's just not. It's not working. And I think a lot of that's experience. We were talking about the Magic like this last year. It was the lack of experience, the lack of shooting ability that was holding them back. Because remember, we were kind of talking about the Magic, how we talked about the Pistons going into these playoffs last year. Another year older, another year wiser.
I don't know if we were that.
I was.
I know.
I was.
Magic.
Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic.
Still a banger.
The last series on the East.
No, there's 2. There's 2 more. And probably the most competitive series that we have, and that's the Knicks versus the Hawks. Believe that series is tied 2-2, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. Current live look, Knicks are up 22 at the half.
Okay, so about to be 3-2. How's Karl Anthony Towns playing in said game?
Let's take a little peek here at the box.
Since that's the only thing anybody can talk about in this series.
Karl Anthony Towns, 14 points. He's 5 of 6. Shot a 3 ball, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Seemingly, plus minus is plus 16 right now. Seemingly has found a bounce back.
Don't get me wrong. As a Timberwolves fan, I have love for Karl Anthony Towns. I truly do think he is a great player. It's just a consistency thing, and I never know if it's the scheme or what is going through his head. I think it's almost like a self-doubt thing at points where if he doesn't get into the game early on, it just snowballs throughout the entire game. And then he starts forcing it later in the games, and it just looks ugly. And then the offense gets discombobulated on top of the fact that he plays terrible defense too. You can't play terrible defense and then totally fuck up the offensive rhythm on the other side.
And he's a guy that it seems like he feels like he has to shoot his way out of holes. And I can't remember the last time he shot his way out. No, just keep shooting. It'll come back around. Cat's not that guy, man. When he's cold, it's cold. And it's just volume. And it's just bad volume.
So I don't know what the deal is there. But when he's on, the Knicks are a scary team when he is playing like he is playing, it seems like, in this first half.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know for a fact that that's what we're going to see on a game in, game out basis. We're kind of, if you're a Knicks fan, you're holding your breath really until just to see, let's see how the first quarter goes. That will give me a good idea of what to expect for the next three.
Sure. So let me ask you this then. If the Knicks fall out of this round, they end up dropping this, where do they go from there? Is Cat a real trade candidate?
Without a doubt. I definitely think so. Because you heard what James Dolan said before the season, and that was, I expect with this roster that we put together and the amount that we are paying this roster and what we've given up to obtain this roster, I expect no less than conference finals, if not NBA finals appearances. Losing in the first round doesn't fucking cut it.
Which, I'm going to be honest with you, I am pulling for Atlanta. As a Bulls fan, I'm pulling for Atlanta because I think the Bulls are going to be in that conversation that if the Knicks go out in round one and they shop Cat, I think the Bulls are going to be a huge, huge player for Karl Anthony Towns.
Potentially. They could.
So selfishly, go Atlanta. Also, real quick, with Atlanta, they traded away their star, right? They traded away their guy. And guess what? He's sitting his ass at home, and Atlanta's in the mix here and could very well beat the Knicks. Good for Atlanta.
No, good for CJ McCollum.
Ooh.
Everybody had written him off. He had been bouncing around some dog shit teams in the previous season. So shout out CJ McCollum turning into the new villain in New York. I love how much Knicks fans hate him.
They simply cannot get away from Atlanta point guards. They just can't. No. The New York Knicks fans are plagued by him.
And also, it's so funny how their hatred comes from him kicking Jalen Brunson in the nuts on what was the most routine shot attempt ever, where he grazed his groin area. It's not like he Draymond Green kicked him to the nuts.
No, it's called incidental contact, for God's sakes.
And they are crucifying this man.
Yeah, bad. bad. Ugly. I don't get that.
Love that. Don't change, Knicks fans. Never change. And then the other series in the East, I was ready to call it for the Cavs after the first two games at home. Mm-hmm. They looked like they were in complete control of that series. Brandon Ingram was getting shut down, while Harden and Mitchell were seemingly being able to do anything and everything that they wanted to. Yet here we are, 2 games later, tied up 2-2, going back to Cleveland. The Raptors may have figured it out. They won game 3 by 22 points, then won game 4 by 4 points. But now all of those, what they say about Harden and Donovan Mitchell and not being able to perform in the postseason, they're all starting to come back now. The whispers can't get the monkey off their back.
It's in the back of their ear. It's in the back of the mind.
Of these two series, the underdog that I think is more likely to pull it out, I think it's the Toronto Raptors.
I'm so glad you said it, because I think we're seeing a shade of the Kawhi Leonard, DeMar DeRozan era Toronto Raptors. These guys could make a run with Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Jacob Poeltl. There's a chance, man. There's a real chance. Their style of basketball makes no sense. It's not super entertaining. It shouldn't be effective, but it just does, dude. It just fucking works for them. They know what they are. They know what they're about. They're going to continue to play their game. Hey, you can keep the fucking superstars for Cleveland. Mitchell and Harden, feel free. We're going to go out there and beat you. Then we're going to go out there and beat the Magic. And we might come across the Celtics here in the finals and fuck around and find ourselves in the NBA finals playing for a championship. I hate that we were both out. We were both so out on them just a week ago. And then you sit there and watch these games and you go, oh my God, is Toronto good?
Yeah, just a bunch of hodgepodge players thrown together.
It just shouldn't.
Seriously.
It shouldn't work.
And they're also tied up in this series, and their best offensive player, Brandon Ingram, is shooting 34% from the floor right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that tells you all you need to. This, if they can truly figure out, and I think they started to in the last 2 games, of getting him looks, the Raptors seriously have an opportunity.
Yeah, I think shooting's got to come alive for him. I think. I know that Grady Dick isn't like a massive piece for them, but
I don't even think he's been playing.
He's been out, injured. But I don't know if it's like fully injured.
He's played in 2 games.
He
hasn't scored a point.
Shooting 30% on the season. He's a spot up shooter that I think could be a threat at the very least of a decoy. But if Toronto wants to see this thing through, they're gonna have to find some shooting. Plain and simple, they're gonna have to find the 3 ball.
Yeah, without a doubt, and that's probably going to be coming from Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Quickly must be injured.
Yeah, fuck it, get Gabe Vincent out there chucking threes.
Yeah, fuck it. No, he's on the freaking Hawks now.
Is he? I thought, God, why did I think he was on? No, that's on me. I thought he was on Toronto. I couldn't. Well, don't quote us.
Cut it.
Don't quote us.
Well, I think that was a productive episode. I had some fun there.
I liked it. Are we doing shout-outs? Because I do have an interesting one.
If you have a shout-out, shout them out. Round us out here.
I'm going to take you to the world of Ivy League baseball.
Ooh, okay.
3 years ago.
Let me lock in.
Brown University signs a female baseball player to their Division I baseball team. First one ever. She goes by the name of Olivia Pichardo.
Okay.
Yep. She's kind of a utility. She can pitch. She can play a little outfield. I think she's only appeared. Let me look this up. I don't want to get this one wrong. Brown has played 151 games since Pichardo arrived, and she has appeared in only 6. She pitch hit once as a freshman, once as a sophomore, and 3 times as a junior, where she played right field for an inning and caught two fly balls. Well, they brought her in to pitch in the 9th inning this last week. Brother.
Okay, tell me more.
Didn't look bad. Got him out of it. Ended up finishing the game. Couldn't tell you what her speed was. I haven't been able to find that, what she was clocked at. But she didn't, like her motion and everything, it didn't look foreign. I'm guessing it wasn't straight
I would hope
gas.
not if she made it to D1 baseball.
Right? She's got a background, though. She played 4 years of Little League, or 5 years of Little League, high school, and then travel ball. 4 years ago, she tried out for the Brown team, made it, and early in her freshman year became the first woman to appear in a D1 game, and now she's the first female to pitch in a D1 baseball game. Shout out for barrier breaking. I don't think she's going to get a call to the show, though.
Did they give any rationale as to why? Like, all of a sudden she got...
Not that I've seen, to be honest with you.
Like, was this a PR move, or they truly thought she was the best option at that moment to go in there and pitch?
Well, let me. I should have done this before, and I apologize. Let me look up the score of their last game. Oh, Brown has not done spectacularly well this year. Jeez. Oh, they're not terrible though. What are they at here? They're at. It doesn't even tell. Oh, they're 19-16. Okay.
Okay.
Against Cornell, they lost 3-8. So, but
I had to do some more research on that one.
We're gonna dive into her. I'll give you Olivia Pichardo update next week.
Okay, and then I'll break down cricket, because I had texted you this morning about how I'm getting super into. I found out there's an Indian Premier League, which is essentially the Premier League.
I told you.
But for cricket.
Yes, I told you about this.
So I've been deep diving with my coworker to build some camaraderie on the team. Something that we can talk about when we jump on a call real quick. I think I'm in. I think I am truly in.
I know we don't want to give away too much because I do want to hear your in-depth analysis, novice analysis of the sport of cricket. Have you picked a team? Have we fallen into a team in the Indian Premier League? Are we willing to share that today?
Yes. Here, I always get it wrong because I just refer to them as their acronym, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Yeah, them. Dude, they got the LeBron James, Michael Jordan of cricket on that team. My guy.
Bro, these unis are sick.
Oh, yeah. They're gas. The red and black.
Oh, you're going with were they the champions last year?
Okay. Hear me out.
I mean, that's like somebody picking the Lakers.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I did my research. This was a team that has one of the most passionate fan bases. That was their first championship in 18 years. It was like one of those things. This organization has gone through so much pain over that course, and the fans stood with them. They stood by their team, and they were finally rewarded last season. I didn't even know they had won the championship last year until after I had picked them, and my coworker told me. And I was like, fuck yeah, fucking right, bud.
Where are we at in the cricket season right now? Is this something, are we too deep? Can I not get involved this late?
No, you might be able to get involved. We got about a month and a half left before playoffs. There's 10 teams in the Premier League. Only 4 make the playoffs. So there's going to be some intense matches up near the top here.
Listen, if we get too deep, we're going to have to start a GoFundMe to get me and you to do a pod from a cricket match.
I don't know if we'd be able to. I watched the highlights of my RCB team.
Too rowdy?
Oh boy, you could say so. Have you seen some of those soccer games where they're firing like fireworks off and shit in the stands?
I've been at some of those games, yes.
Imagine that type of environment for these cricket games.
Hell yeah. We might listen. This could start us down a horrible or a fantastic path to where we find ourselves going over to India to catch a cricket game. This might be electric. I'm excited to hear more. But shout out to the RCB.
Yep,
the Royal Challengers. Bengaluru.
We'll just call them the Royal Challengers.
All right, shout out. I'm not going to pick the same team. Let me do a little.
And get ready to learn a little bit something about Virat Kohli, the LeBron James, Michael Jordan of cricket.
You know what I'm more excited about? I've been your podcast partner for 50 episodes. You, sir, struggle with every name pronunciation. So you telling us about cricket players in India, I cannot wait. For the pronunciations that you're about to give us.
It is about to be so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I already feel like I'm disrespecting the game.
All right. Well, shout out.
But there is a fair share of English players that are in the league as well, so that helps.
And here comes Tommy Schultz. Tommy from
pretty much Scott Hedgewood.
Yeah, from New South Wales, baby.
Yeah. Okay, folks. That wraps it up on episode 50 of Don't Quote Us Sports. As always, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow. Tell someone you know to give us a listen. And we'll catch you on next week's episode.
See you.